Mason with Femme Cycle Collab, and I am watching this race instead of racing it because I wanted to make sure that we got some footage of this awesome inaugural Women's Ultimate Mini Race series. We're about a minute from the start, and this might be a little difficult to stream because there's 3 separate races that we're going to enter in 3 different Zwift worlds, so please excuse any technical issues that I may have or swearing that I may do in response to my technical difficulties. I'm just excited to watch all of these badasses race, some for the first time. This is a Downtown Dolphin. And they're going to go 3 laps on this course before heading over to do 9.3 kilometers on the Fan Flats. And we're off. The beautiful thing about these mini races is that they are short. They are a mass start, so all the women are starting together, and you can see everyone. So you can draft off other categories, but you can also use another category as a rabbit. So you can see in red we have the category A women, in green we have category B, in blue we have category C, in yellow we have category D, there's some D's, and then in purple we have category E. And category E are really our newbie riders. They're ranked 0 to 100, and they're really brave for getting out there. So you can see that there's 117 women in this race, and you see here is the point of interest on this course. It's a tiny little hill that's going to cut everyone's speed, so you really have to accelerate going into it in the beginning. You can see when we're going to go around this corner and up. Portugal. So you see some red numbers here going in through the banner, and this is really what's going to break up the field. You see Jamie Chase there. She's quite a strong bee, so powerful enough to stay with those category A women. After this, you're going to hit a short downhill, and then it's going to be a little bit of a lumpy, bumpy process through this through the park here, and that's going to complete their first lap. So you can see a lot of the A's and B's are still together, and there's even some C's up here, and right now it's just a really big long line. It hasn't really divided except for at the very back. There's going to be 3 laps of this, so I want to get footage of every category. You can see how big that group is. You can see actually a lot of the B's are still in that group and a lot of the C's, and I would expect that this race, which is the shortest race, you'll see a lot of people finish together and maybe even some B sprinters winning. This is just 2 seconds dividing these 2 groups. Looks like they're going to close it for this round, and there's 2 more laps to go, so I think the front group probably would enjoy more of a big draft. So they've got 40 up here. And the second group is about 25. And I really like to see the colors because you could really tell who's making that group. So that second group is mostly C's with some B's in there. And then if we turn and look behind, now there's really a separation between those front two groups, which are the first 65 women, and the third group. And here is a E rider taking on that hill again. You can see there's a couple groups. This group of 5 probably wants to collect more for these second 2 laps. They're going to hit that hill again. Let's watch how they take it on. Oh, here's Celine. She is super punchy. So I would expect that she would be able to do something here if she wants, but I don't know that she wants to bridge that gap. 9 seconds up is a long way. Looks like she's sitting in, not using her pretty extraordinary punch to do anything right here. Now she's got a big long line. You can see up in the mini map how many women are in a big long line, and they're going to collect here as they go downhill. So again, this front group split back up into two again. So they're on their final lap now. So you still have quite a few C's up here. And ESRT is really showing up for their team. They are really good at putting everyone on the field when they have races, and that's really awesome because they've got some great racers. See how big this front group is. Front group is quite large. So still 34, 36. With all this jostling, I really have no idea. Let's see. This is a little bit off the back, and that's the top 45. So they're hitting the final climb. Look at all of those fire socks going off. So I would expect that this is where everyone's really going to push. There's Mim. All these riders are recognizing that you really have to push up and over that cap and through the beginning of the descent to get back up to speed. So as they hit these rollers in the park, you're going to see a lot of positioning because the sprint is a little bit tricky because you hit this 180-degree turn, just like in Richmond. So lots of B riders in here. You can see fire socks already going off. People are really trying to make it work going into the turn, but there's no draft on the turn. Let's see. Oh, yep, we got a B. Oh, great work. So you see in the top 10 there was at least two Bs. And those women are all going to exit and go towards the second race. I'm missing everybody. You can see here's a it's a Swedish Swifters coming into the line. She's just rolling. She didn't really need. All right. And they're not going to catch her. Great racing. These women are putting out enough to cross the finish line, but they're recognizing that they still have 2 longer races to go. So you can see there's lots of category overlap here. So D's, C's, and E's all together. Oh, that was a great move by that rider on the far side. Oh, who's gonna get it? Oh, she just didn't make it. Who's gonna beat her? Oh, she's using her steering. Good job. That was some excellent riding. And here's a level rider coming in. She's doing a good job spinning it out, I think. All alone in these rollers, it's a little easier to know when to push because you don't have to worry about your position in the pack. Looks like somebody might have a technical. All right. Pushing hard for that finish. I love it. So these riders are coming in around 10 minutes and they have 5 minutes of rest before the start of the second race. So so you see everybody's in the pen. They're going to take a nice little break. They've got 4 minutes till the start of the next race. Next race is Richmond Fan Flats, and that's going to be 9.3 kilometers. The lead-in to the Fan Flat section is has a little bit of a slight grade, but once they get onto the Fan Flats, what they really have to worry about is the turns. like there's a mixed reception for these mass starts. Some people don't like it because there's a bit of chaos, and others really like it. In the past, having joined these, I really like it. So I guess it's not for everybody, unfortunately, but hopefully it's for most people, because I think it's amazing. And here we go. And there they go. You see actually there's more separation immediately here. You can see a lot of the purple and yellow are already separated out, and maybe that's because it's a longer race and women are anticipating not being able to stay. Everybody right on. It's interesting to see a full-on conversation going on. Nice big group here. So this pace is obviously not a fast pace for the A's, but they're getting a lot of draft, and in this length, 9.3 kilometers, they really don't have to do work right now, because they know that when it comes to the finish line, they can probably beat everyone in the sprint. So it'd be interesting to see if they sit in for longer or if they take off. I imagine once they get to the hill, we're going to see a little bit of separation, so let's see what happens. Here's that hill I'm talking about. It really caps out here at 5%, and then it goes down. So this pace that we're seeing, a lot of these women can hold that for quite a bit of time. So nobody's making a move that I see. Nobody wants that camera angle. A little bit of a press. You can see the A is moving to the front here. ESRT women pulling that line. You can see it kind of extend out. Women are using their if you have a feather, there's not much else use for it, so why not? Those people that are using draft fans right now, probably that's a sign that they're struggling a little bit. Sea rider up front, interesting. Now, C doesn't mean C category with the same, with the same limits that you think of from the past few years. So a C rider is not a 2.5 watt per kilo to 3.2 watt per kilo FTP person. That's racing score, and the racing score limit for this one is 200 to 350. So it's a little different than what we've seen historically. So the E pen is 0 to 100, and so that's probably mostly new riders or those riders that have FTPs under 1.5. And then you see 100 to 200. Those are the D riders. Those are in the yellow, and those have scores of 100 to 200. Then the C riders have scores between 200 and 350. And those riders in there might be traditional C category riders with the FTP between 2.5 to 3.2, or they could be low Bs in that old category or high Ds. And then 300 to 500 is really a lot of C's and a lot of B's, and then 500 to 1,000 is the A category, and that A category is A's, B's. I don't think there'll be any C's in that one, but that has to do with the compound score of how many watts they have. So this group collected again, and there's chaos when you go around corners in Zwift, so let's see what happens here. No one really making a move there. I think it might be scratch style, and everyone's just kind of sitting in. I think they are going to get another power up at this banner, so that's why everyone's shooting them off right now. So you can see that this course doesn't have as much of a geographical feature to break up the group, so this group is quite large. Let's see. Still got some D riders and some E riders in there. Alright, so that was the back of it. So 74 women still in this group at almost halfway through the race. So that pack is big. There's a nice little group as well. This does have some D riders that I recognize, and some C riders, and actually they're going not that much slower. So this pack, now they're about to go downhill, so anybody that's falling to the back should try to push here so that they can stay in touch with this large pack. It won't take that much to stay in it if they're in that big draft when they hit the downhill. now we see a flyer off the front. Let's see who that is. A kilo. I am wondering what she's doing. She's got some separation on the field. You can see they're quite a bit behind her, but they're going to enter a slight downhill. And unless you're a big rider, it's kind of hard to get away, especially as they make that turn. It's going to kind of be a pinch point, and they're going to go uphill. So you can see all across the road, not really chasing her right now, but they still have over 3 kilometers to go in the race. And I don't think they're too worried about catching her. So just a reminder, these ladies have 25 minutes to finish this race before the start of the Neon Flats 15-kilometer race. So they can really leave a lot on the line if they want. This rider is working hard. You can see her heart rate. She's got 5 seconds on the field, and I don't think that they are so worried about her. You see she's going 45 kilometers an hour into that turn, and everyone else is going that same speed. So she's... Oh, and someone's bridging. They're just bringing it back. She closed that gap down to 2 seconds. All right, so now they're down to 2 kilometers and just a little bit. So it's 9.3 kilometers total. So 2 kilometers at 40 kilometers per hour would take 3 minutes. So we're down to our last 3 minutes. And she's in touch. So well done to try to push that pace and shake off some of that group. But the likelihood is now Miranda is tired and will want to sit in before the sprint. So we'll see where she finishes. I think that was brave, and I always love crazy tactics, so well done. And she's used her power up, so she wants to stay in touch with this group, but she's obviously tired. But why not, right? Why not try these crazy tactics, especially in something like this where it's a mini race? A lot of my coalition teammates in here, and I love my teammates, so it's a hard thing for me not to just watch them, but I try. So we see a lot of C's still in this group, and I think that's because this course is flat, and we're going to see it in the next course too. The next course is Neon Flats, so not a lot of elevation changes to break up that group, and those that have the fitness can stay with the higher categories, and I think where you'll see the separation again is when we come down to the sprint. We'll check on Miranda again, see how she's doing. She's still pushing big numbers. She's struggling, but she's really doing a really good job. So they're going to come up to this corner, and then we're going to see them take off from that corner more likely. If you go too early, then you might be gassed out by the time you get to the finish. They still got 0.4 kilometers, so you can see some red numbers going off here. Everybody's using their power-ups. Those draft vans only work if you're behind someone. So those women that are pushing them at the front aren't really getting that benefit. Here we go. We see, oh wow, look at that. She's using a draft in the, oh no, I think she's in second. That's good. There we go. There's a 1-2 SRT. The top 5, we see some B's in there. Nice. That's a good mass finish. Wow, that was the majority of the race there. Ah! And I clicked into some men. All right, there we go. These ladies aren't too far from the finish line. They still have 1.2 kilometers to go. This Galaxy rider is using a feather on the downhill, which isn't going to help her much. She probably just wants what help she can get, which is totally understandable. You can see this group has some C, D, and E riders in it. And I think many of these women probably know each other. You can see, again, some of my teammates that I love. Here's Sonia. She's a great racer. Here's Heather, who I haven't raced with, but she's working hard. She's coming up to the finish. Netta's been around for a while. There they go. A little positioning here. You guys got it. Here's the start of the sprint, and that sprint's not so long, 15 seconds. So that Aero helmet is going to take her almost all the way to the finish line. Good job. Pushing 5 watts a kilo. Woo, 6 watts a kilo. Woo! Way to go, ladies. That is fast. Here's Carla. It's great work. There we go. Here's that finish line. If they've got a power up, they should be using it here. I love to see the sprints when it's not for a win, because those are the women that really care. I don't care that much. So if I'm not at the front and I'm finishing like this, I am horrible. I don't even sprint. I just roll through the finish line. And when I see teammates pushing it, I feel shame over my inability to muster that kind of bravery. So I'm going to go to my next race, and we do have a bit of time here between the next race. So we still have, oh no, I don't want to go to quickly. We still have 8 minutes before the start of the next race. So we've got 7 minutes before the next race. 30 seconds to go here, and it'll be interesting to see what happens here, because again, this one's flat. And everybody should be more tired after that last race. I really hope that women are eating between these races. There's some jokes about cake, but whatever works. You don't think of these races as super taxing, but each one, you're pushing yourself harder than you probably would if all of these were together. So 15K, 9.3K, and what was the first one? 5K? It's still a long race eventually. Ginormous. Big mixed group here still. Just a kilometer in, so I know it's not far into the race, but it's kind of awesome to see everybody. Does this. So what we saw in the first race was the A riders really using that geography to create distance. In the second race, we saw them sit in the pack for the majority of the race, and then Miranda broke it up, and we saw some A's close it and then sit at the front of the pack till the finish. And so we'll see what happens in this third race, where everyone's a little bit more tired, but you'd expect to see a little bit more separation given the level of the 500 to 1,000 racers. But that's certainly not the case now. I see all the colors in this group. You can see there's nearly 100 women in this group, which is pretty awesome. The D's are falling to the back, but not off the back yet, and that's great. They're whole group as a rabbit. Claire's one of my teammates. She's awesome. A little bit of separation here. That tail end of that group is still at that 80 to 85 number, which is great. There are a lot of banners in this race, so those women in the back should be using them, should be using their power-ups as much as they can. And anything to stay in contact with this group. And I think they're doing it pretty well. I mean, this is a tough course to get a feather. Not much to do. Looks like Hannah's just off the back. She's probably going to wait for that group behind her. She looks like she's working hard though. She's got a group of 7 to 8 behind her if she wants. And the group in front of her is pulling away a little bit. That's 5 seconds, 6 seconds. That's a hard close. Especially when they're going 38 kilometers an hour and she's going 36. Well, they want a B rider off the back. No. You still see a lot of D and E riders up here, which is excellent. This is a pretty chill group for now. Still about 80 up here. And what's surprising is I haven't seen any moves by the A's, so they are just enjoying the draft speed. A lot of A's don't get to ride in giant groups because there's not that many races where the A category has a lot of women in it, and that's pretty sad. This pack seat's building a little bit. You see 40 kilometers an hour. I'd expect to see a little bit of separation at this pace. Back down, but they're going over a little bump, which is about as much as they're going to get on this course. bee riders off the front, so let's see what they're doing. Oh, Jamie Chase. She's a good rider. Maybe they're practicing this alley sprint for Tuesday. I do wonder if that was an intentional jump off the front, because if so, I think it would be amazing to watch two of the B category try to TT it off the front. I think they were just trying out that alley sprint though. Miranda, our old friend. Let's see. So these power-ups, I think they're getting draft, arrow, and feather, I think across all three of the races. But especially for the last two races, a feather can be used in a sprint, but it's not exactly a useful power-up on the fan flats or neon flats. It's in the name. Seeing any yellow up here. Let's see. Oh, there's some still. There's Netta. So she's in the 100 to 250. Let's see how big this front group is still. Still 60. We're about halfway through the course. And remember, this is not a 15-kilometer solo course. This is the third of 3. So it's already 30 kilometers into, or 25 kilometers into racing. Ooh, red numbers off the front. Who's going for it? Is it Miranda? It's like Christmas. Look at those fire socks. Ooh. Reds are chasing them down. I have a doubt as to the name of this person, but oh, ooh, using the steering. Are they gonna make this work as a breakaway? I guess they got 7 seconds on the field. That's a big gap. If they work together, they could stay away. It's not unreasonable. And she doesn't look like she's struggling too much, so I guess this would really, in my mind, this would be successful if they work together for sure. Let's see what their pace is. They're at 43, and the pace behind is 41, 42. Let's see. No, I don't want to go. I want to stay and watch. I always do wonder if people text each other during races. I wish I had the capacity, but I do not. I like this woman's bike, though. What bike is that? Piece of candy. She's got to work if they're gonna make it happen. She's just sitting in and letting Cronquist doing all the work. Go. Nice. Alright, so now they've swapped. And they're up to 8 seconds on the field. And the field really doesn't look like they're chasing. I mean, you see max 4 watts a kilo. They really have to match the speed at the front. I'm wondering if they're just going to let them go. There are a lot of A's bunched at the front here, so they could make it a go. Let's see a chase. Come on. This group has some firepower in it. There's Mim. I know she could do it. I mean, 10 seconds in the front. We're down to 4 kilometers to go. Seconds. It's getting to the point that if the group doesn't start reeling them back in, I think that they are gone. And they're not working that hard, so their heart rates are under control. Look like they've got gas to go to burn. This is when I wish I could play a song, but then YouTube blocks my videos in Belarus, which I'm not sure why I care about that, but this group still has a lot of C's in it. Really love that. Someone drop off the back. Oh, I think maybe they just collected for that straightaway. There looks to be... Who's pushing off the front? There's definitely a green beacon. I love that they're different colors. Johansson, probably just trying shake it up to get women to chase. There's this little downhill, and you'll see this unfolding. It's pretty much like an accordion as you hit the downhill and then you hit the uphill. There's that momentum. And this is part of why I love this game, because there's physics at play. So Cronquist has steering on, and you can see her steering, and Pogačar does not. And I wonder if that is affecting their ability to work together. They're pretty strong because they've still got 14 seconds in the field, so whether or not they're efficiently using each other's draft, they're still badasses. Doing great. Let's see. The pace is, the pace is pretty good here, but oh, there's Miranda. Is she gonna make a break? Let's see it. Miranda's the one that broke away in the last race, if you don't remember. And she got 3 seconds, I think, on the Fan Flats. But then she was caught a couple kilometers before the finish, and she sat in and then tried to recover. She's really using the turns here in this arcade, which kind of mind-boggling. But everyone behind her, when they go around the corners, they lose the benefit of that huge draft. So that's a good place to make a move. I don't know if she meant to do it or if it was just because it was kind of crunch time, but she's less than 5 seconds back now. Let's see. Let's watch. She dropped her draft fan. She's not getting any draft from that. It's kind of a desperate move of, I need something, but it's not going to give her anything. I think she's going to make it, though. She's across the finish line first. Miranda a little too late. I wonder if she's going to get caught by the A's that are pushing off the front behind her. I don't think so. Oh, she's through. Oof, just made it. Woo! Awesome finish. Look at all those red numbers. Fire socks, red numbers. It's amazing. So that was 22 minutes. I'm getting everybody right after they finish. Ugh, I hate that. Oh, here we go. Here's a nice group of B, C, and D coming into the finish line. So they've got 0.3 kilometers to go. I always think it's interesting to see when people use their power-ups. I probably half the time deploy mine in error, but good job, ladies. Look at those fire socks. Woo! Pew, pew, pew! Nice. All the way through the finish line. This is some great work. So some C, D, E in this group. Some of my teammates, of course, I'm partial. So people who are using their draft fans here, it's quite early because they've still got 0.6 kilometers to go. So even though the draft fan lasts longer than the arrow, you're not taking advantage of the greater speed that women are going to have going into this finish line. Because that arcade kind of cuts your speed. All right, let's watch. This is my teammate Larissa. Go, Larissa! 0.2 kilometers to go. So she's using everybody else really well. She was at the back of that pack, and she used that draft fan all the way through. Good job. So this is a strung out group. Let's see when they start deploying their power-ups. So now they're down to 300 meters to go. They really should be using it. There we go. Well, that's maybe, so the arrow is the one that you can use the latest, but she's only got 0.2 kilometers to go. Let's see it. Oh man, you see Nordstrom at 4.7. Whew. 3 ladies working through the arcade. They've got 0.7 to go. Come on, Mel. Keep pushing. Group is going to finish together. I'm wondering whether she's getting any draft off of. Oh, I think she's close enough now. Come on, Claire. Let's see your fire socks go off. Come on, Claire. All the way through that finish line. There it is. Oh, can you get her? Oh, not quite. Level rider is just finishing out her day. Oh, it's nice working together here. Ladies have a couple kilometers to go. Jackie, no one to draft off of. That's the worst. See if they stay together through this arcade. They both got steering on, so I'm wondering if they're using it or not. I haven't seen much of that. She is stuck like glue. Way to use the corner. Now she's out of the draft. Just steer back, steer back. And there goes Courtney. Look at that, 4.0. She's got 0.2 to go, and she's really pushing it. You can see how hard she's working. I love that people do that. When I'm tired, I really struggle to do that. This woman was automatically put on the classic bike, or if she chose it. One is a statement and the other is a whoopsie, which is how I usually end up on it. Alright, all the way through the finish line. She's just chilling. I think Jackie's just chilling as well. Alright, Jackie. Alright. I think we're gonna watch Nordqvist and then we'll call it quits. You can still see she's working. Even if she's 18, she's still working at 160. Nordqvist finish it out, and then we're going to say goodbye. I'm a little sad I didn't race now, but I really wanted to capture more than just the front group, and that's nearly impossible to do when you're struggling to breathe. So, well done, everybody. And way to finish it out, Nordqvist. Thank you, ESRT, for hosting it.